Alright everyone, it's time for the Occult video number 248. Stop trying to cherry pick your religions. Every single time that I say something that could be conceived of as critical of organized religion in general or of a religion in specific, it's very funny because you get two kinds of people that get very irate. This is on Twitter mainly. First are like the Deus Vulters, and they'll post the Shrek Tips Fedora meme habitually because they don't really necessarily have anything more intelligent to say. And then the second group of people are people who will say that you're wrong, and then they'll pick through their scriptures, and it doesn't really matter what religion it is. I've sparred with a lot of Muslims that have done this. People, pagans, have done this actually to me. Paganism stands for X, Y, and Z. Well, no, it doesn't. Here, let me say, to quote the Prose Edda to you. And it's very, very funny, and it's very charming, and it shows limited cognizance of religion. But I wanted to put it this way. If you believe, and I side with the hyper-religious on this, technically speaking, even though I'm not religious. Spiritual, yes. Religious, I don't have time to go to church. I'm too busy doing things. Or a mosque or a synagogue or whatever. What I would say is this. If you believe that there is an all-encompassing power, it doesn't need to be a god, a cosmic force, a pantheon, whatever you think that it is. There's a god or something equivalent to it. Created everything, has certain rules and tenets to live by, wants you to live your life in a certain way, has created for you a book or a compilation or something. Wouldn't it be absolutely stupid, completely foolish to not take it completely seriously, even if it causes your own death? Why would you ignore any single tenet of it? If I believed that, for instance, let's go by Christianity, because most of you presumably are Christian, including, I'm aware of that fact. There's a reason why I spar with people when I cover abortion or homosexuality as topics on YouTube or whatever. Most of you are Christian, or culturally Christian, or agnostic, but raised Christian in some way. Most of you. So let me use that for an example. If I thought, seriously, the Bible was literally true, if I thought, Jehovah's it, this is our God, Yahweh, or whatever you want to call it, Elohim, created everything in 7 days, and the world's, a few thousand years old, Jesus came, and unless I live his way and do certain things and pray the sinner's prayer and be holy, I go to hell, I suffer forever. Would it make any sense whatsoever not to take it very, very, very seriously, abide by it completely, and not cherry pick it? Why would I want to go through the scriptures and potentially put myself and my immortal soul in danger by saying, well, this part was a metaphor. Well, that part's literal, but only kinda. This part is superseded by another part. Some dude 2,000 years ago told me so. I wouldn't want to take the chance. I would go to a cave and I would read that scripture over and over until I knew exactly what I was supposed to be doing. And then I'd be a hermit. I'd be an outcast of society, which ironically, if you listen to what Jesus says at certain points, he appears to allude to that the Christian community would be small, separate from culture, and would be outcasts. They wouldn't be a mainline culture. They certainly wouldn't have political power. Unless they were 666 abominations that had sold themselves out to the beast and were actually heralds of the Antichrist and got it totally wrong. Mainline Christianity under that auspice would be totally wrong. But let's say that the fundamentalists, which are the closest to a literal interpretation, as far as extracting from the King James Version anyway, are right. And then you get into the Apocrypha and which books should have been canonized and how do you know, and that's a totally separate issue. Which version of the Christian God is the real one? Well, you'd have to take everything literally. So the stories in the Bible aren't metaphor, they're true. There actually was an exodus of the Jews. The judges existed, and these were their decisions in the various tales, and these proverbs were chanted with psalters and hymnals before the throne of God, and all of these other things. You have to believe in Genesis. Literally, Adam and Eve, were, made, and somehow there were grandchildren involved, despite the fact that there were no other humans at the time, although there may have been. Then we have to talk about Asherah. And this is just for Christianity. Keep this in mind. This is just one religion. One post-religion. Of course, Christianity is broken down into 1,000 different smaller groups, 3 main variants, unless you count Mormonism, and that's more like a cult, or Scientology. You've got Islam, and you've got Sunni, Shia, different. You get the Wahhabi, you get the Salafi. You've got certain other tribal religions. You've got the Yazidi. You've got Hinduism in various branches. You've got various major forms of Buddhism. You've got Shinto and Taoism and various types of animism, all the different schools of paganism, multiple schools of thought within Wicca. But you should take it seriously. If you actually believe it in a literal sense, if you believe that this deity is real and this is inspired scripture, why would you want to cherry pick it? When I'm talking to Christians, especially on Twitter or whatever, and they're going through and saying, well, that part of the Bible is just a metaphor, and so, for the purposes of a political argument, who cares if you win a political argument against some YouTuber? You're putting your soul at hazard. Why are you doing that? These people take it seriously, or here's the thing. If you can't take your religion seriously, if the inspired scripture can't be taken at face value, if you think that the God is kind of, sort of, not really real, or is just a force or a metaphor, or if you believe in it but you're not religious, like you don't feel compelled to do what the scripture says, why are you even religious? Why even bother wasting any time on an ideology you're not going to take seriously? That's like saying, hey, I'm going to become a brick mason, but I'm not actually going to cement the bricks together. I'm just going to throw them, sort of haphazardly into a pile, and it'll kind of look like a structure when I'm done. Yeah, I'll stack a few of them, I'll get bored, I'll wander off, I'll come back, I'll play around with them like Lego bricks. I'm going to be a professor, but I'm never going to show up to class. Okay, that one doesn't work because that's every professor, never mind. I'm going to be an architect, but I'm going to draw up shitty plans that'll collapse a year later. No, that's a half-assed way of doing it. The Bible itself, this is again for the Christians, says, because you are lukewarm, I will spit you out. Be hot or cold. Do one. Either be religious, fucking take it seriously, or don't bother. Just go on your merry way. Be a pagan. Be a non-believer. Be a Canaanite. Be a Philistine. Literally within the Bible. Not the latter alliteration, but you know what I'm talking about. I would say that if you're a mortal soul, if you believed it was genuinely at risk by not, holding to the rules and laws and beliefs of a system, you'd want to take that system very, very seriously. I know I do. I believe fully in certain spiritual aspects that go beyond the physical and corporeal. I believe in spirits, after a fashion. I believe in magic. I believe in these things. I take them seriously. I study them for a living. I edit as many works as I can. I want to encounter as many books on the subject as possible. I spend a great deal of my time, possibly in some of your minds wasted, thinking about these things. I find it fascinating too, and it's rewarding. I take it seriously. That's a major part of my life. There's a reason why I'm almost 250 fucking videos into this playlist. There's a reason for that. There are a lot of people, though, that claim that they're religious and they believe in some God or another. They believe in some scripture or another, and they don't take it seriously at all. They don't even open the Bible. Their Bible, you go into their house, it has a layer of dust on it. You can't even tell it's a Bible till you pick it up and dust it off. There are Muslims that are like this. They're complained about by the more fanatic Muslims. Oh, these Muslims, they claim that their prayer rug has dust on it. Their Quran's never seen the light of day. You have this. Jews, within Judaism, it's very common. The majority of Jews are not religious. The majority of self-professed Jews don't really practice Judaism. They keep a few holidays, and they get together, and they have like the Bar Mitzvah and a few things like that. By and large, they don't practice, they don't know the Kabbalah. They don't know how to do gematria at all. They couldn't even tell you the story of the Golem of Prague. So keep that in mind. Hinduism. Yes, there are very religious Hindus, but most Hindus... Have you ever watched, I can't remember the county involved. If you've ever watched on YouTube, you can get live streams of some of the Indian news services, and you'll see, like, they're hawking, zinc, Hanuman statues for $19.99, and here's your authentic blessing from the yogi, and stuff like that, and it's like, an even more corrupted version of televangelism. And it's bullshit, really. I mean, it's guaranteed that side of religion is bullshit. That's a very, very humanistic, modernistic, very materialized, sort of almost capitalistic in some ways, version of religion that's not really real. There's no God there, trust me. Been there, done that, looked into it plenty with multiple religions. If there's any religious truth to be found in these various organized religions, for like the Catholics, you'd have to go to a monastery. In all honesty, go talk to some monks, to people that 23 hours a day they're not allowed to make any noise or something like that. That's about all. Peace out.